Hi everyone, this is part 2 of the Matrix Revolutions review. If you haven't seen part 1, I suggest you check it out. After the Machine Army was defeated, they then send the rest of their Sentinels to retake the docks, and it's only a matter of time till they reach the humans. Meanwhile, with Neo and Trinity, they find out that Bane got aboard the ship and threatens to kill them both.
Let her go.
Very poor choice of words.
Bane could easily kill Neo right there, but instead he decides to play the James Bond villain card and waste time by getting Neo to figure out exactly who he is.
That's it, Mr. Anderson. Look past the flesh. Look through the soft gelatin of these dull cow eyes and see your enemy.
He finally shoots as soon as Trinity cuts off the power. I'm just shocked by the perfect timing. Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist it. I won't do any more electric puns for the rest of the review. Bane blinds Neo and all seems lost, but Neo is able to see the world in a golden light.
It's not over, Mr. Anderson. It's not over.
I don't know how I understand they talking like this. Neo whacks her apart. Holy shit! That bar just made him explode. Only joking, Bane's in one piece. Dead, but in one piece.
And just in case you're wondering why he's able to see the world in a golden light, I don't know. They really don't explain. In fact, I don't fully understand why Neo was able to disable the machines at the end of the second film. The Oracle says the power of the One works in and out the Matrix. In the Matrix, Neo's powers make sense because the Matrix is a computer program and its rules can be bent. But the real world has laws of physics, of reality. How does he suddenly have magical powers? In fact, to get to the Machine City, he used his powers to get to the Machine Blockade by destroying the bombs before they hit the ship. This makes no sense! They travel through rough conditions and crash into the Machine City. Sadly, Trinity gets horribly wounded and we have one of the longest and most boring death scenes in films.
And to save you the boredom, let's move on.
Neo meets the Machine Emperor and I have to admit that thousands of machines making his face is a really cool effect. However, I don't know why it looks like a baby face.
Neo makes a deal with Machine Emperor to defeat Smith in exchange for peace.
Neo finally returns to the Matrix, but the place has changed. There are millions of Smiths and the weather has been set to Irish summer. And yes, I know there are a million Smiths that could all easily defeat Neo. However, the Smith that was the Oracle decides to do the honors himself.
Mr. Anderson, welcome back. We missed you.
This is it, the final battle, the epic fight, the moment it's been building up to. The Matrix films had amazing fights, and this one sure to be the best one with all sorts of epic kung fu. Or it's just mostly special effects and fighting like Dragon Ball Z. I know the second film had CGI used in the fights, but most of them were done real. In this film, it's mostly CG. The film ends with Neo sacrificing himself and somehow causing the Smiths to explode. The machines make peace with the humans and retreat from Zion. The ending of the film was criticized for being anticlimactic, confusing, and a disappointing end to the trilogy. By the looks of it, all Neo did is he took the humans out of a dingy cell and put them into a cleaner one. Nothing much has changed.
I have heard online some interesting conclusions to the Matrix. An interesting one is that the humans have won the war and that the real world is a simulation to make the machines feel like they won. Neo, Morpheus, and Trinity are programs duped into the illusion of humanity.
If you look at the ending more carefully, it's actually the best way to conclude the story. In the second film, Neo chose to save Trinity rather than reset the Matrix, since he was the first one to fall in love. The Oracle had allowed herself to change into Smith since there was a chance that she could help Neo. The only way for Neo to save Zion from destruction was to defeat Smith in exchange for peace, even though he could have resetted the Matrix and defeated Smith at the cost of Zion being destroyed. Neo hears the Oracle's words
Everything that has a beginning has an end, Neo.
and sacrifices himself so he can connect all the Smiths to the swords. The machine then simply detects the Smiths and deletes them. I mean, what the hell is everyone expecting? Did they want Neo destroying millions of Smiths and saving everyone from the Matrix? Now the ending wouldn't be realistic because where would the people go? Zion can only support about 250,000 humans. Can the city support the million newcomers? If they can't, then they'll die since the sun's blocked and there's nowhere else to go. Also, Neo's portrayed to be a messiah like Jesus, And how did Jesus deal with the Romans? Did he go around to beat up 100 legions? No, he sacrificed himself for the peace of the world. But we don't like seeing the main characters die because we don't like seeing them vulnerable and helpless. We want our hero to go out and succeed in beating the bad guy. However, in the end of Revolutions, the humans are still outnumbered and outgunned by the machines, but Neo gave them a chance for a new beginning and to live in peace. In fact, the Matrix films are meant to represent life. The first one is about birth, the second one is about life itself, and the third one is about death.
Overall, The Matrix Revolutions is the worst film of the trilogy. The action isn't as good as the other films, there are plot holes and questions that aren't really answered. Although the ending is acceptable, the build-up to it isn't worth it. There's a lot the directors could have done to make the third film stronger.
However, before I finish up, there is another film connected with The Matrix. Well, a collection of 9 short films called The Animatrix. These are films that use CGI and Japanese animation to tell different stories. Some have connections with the films, like Kid's Story and Final Flight VSRs. However, my favourite one is The Second Renaissance. It's a 2-part short film about how the machines came to power and how the real world changed from being beautiful to a barren wasteland. The animation is great and there are some really creepy moments. If you're a fan of anime, The Matrix, or interesting stories, then I recommend you check it out. This is White Knight saying, see you soon.